one of the largest Jewish constituencies in the world. Is there anyone from New York even here in this audience today? I know you'll be talking to your members of Congress this week, but you won't need to ask me where I stand because you already know the answer. I stand with you and for you.
Israel seems to be able to fight war.
This is the key, Israel thing, it's like it's been very, well, he said better than me, sorry for my interruption.
Israel seems to be able to fight wars very quickly. What is your secret? Because we don't seem to have the hang of that.
The secret is that we have America.
I believe
that
Israel has a powerful stranglehold on the American government. They control both members of the House and the Senate. They have us involved in wars of which we have little or no interest. Our children are coming back in body bags. Our nation is bankrupt over these wars. And if you open your mouth, you get targeted. And if they don't beat you at the poll, they'll put you in prison. It's an objective assessment that no one will have the courage to speak about. They're controlling much of our foreign policy. They control much of the media. They control much of the commerce of the country. And they control powerfully both bodies of the Congress. They own the Congress.
To suggest, as you're doing here tonight, that they control our Congress, that, quote, they are influencing, the sole control of influencing of our domestic policy, is an absurdity. It sounds like you are a kook.
Oh, boy.
Sean, I'm not suggesting it. I'm telling it.
Well, what it says is essentially that the Jewish lobby, the Israeli lobby, has absolute control over the appointment of anyone, either in a security position or a foreign policy position, that has anything at all to do with the Middle East. They basically are able to say yes or no on the appointment of any individual at a senior level. I'm talking about, obviously, a policy-making level.
I went into the State Department Near East section and found every single person in all of those offices were either Zionist, Israelis, whatever, and they had pictures all over the wall of Israel, Israel, Israel. They had magazines, Israel Today, the Near East section.
It was just totally dominated by Israeli.
Totally.
And I do see a lot of old friends here. And I see a lot of new friends of Israel here as well. Democrats and Republicans alike.
Oh, chosen one. God's chosen
This is the reason
people.
we had the war in Bosnia. The war in Bosnia is simply a stage to train assassins to be a market for brand new weapons, a marketplace so that the drug money can be used. And the Army runs the whole show. It's totally run by the Army. The CIA is a bogus thing. It's training and doctrine command. It's NATO. It's SHAPE, Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe, started by Eisenhower. Its main function is to sell weapons and launder money.
And the slogan of this thing, and I showed this in the England conference, is for truth. It's right in our days. It's operative, and the price of the freedom is the vigilance.
Jeez. And I've heard Pelosi's even said that if every Capitol building in D.C. fell and every government building was leveled, the thing that will always remain is our adherence and our commitment and backing of Israel.
The funding organization, one of the funding organizations was out of New York, and it was called The Joint. And Meyer Lansky, see, our mob, the organized crime, the Jewish Kabbalist group, who don't believe in God, really. Well, they do. They look at God as a Kabbalah kind of thing, and the opposite of good is bad, and they have to get rid of all the good people and kill them, and then, they really do this. They're killing people who are good on purpose, and they get brownie points with their little cults.
Okay, and directly under whose instructions to sell these weapons? Do you know that?
And the woman, after saying all that kind of thing, she started entering in some kind of scare behavior, which is something, you know, at least to call attention, because this is just a resume of the whole interview. She was the wife of a high-rank military from United States. I cannot recall the name of this woman, but it's very known. And when she was asked who is behind it, after saying all that things, she starts to get scary. So something at least to have in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, who would that be?
Well, it's the Israeli Zionist group in New York.
So the thing is, this is old information. So, you know, maybe 3-4 years ago. But right now, for example, you know, when you go to Donald Trump, it's the same thing. It's better from the Israel community or the Zionists, whatever. I am not an anti-Jewish. I am not anti-Catholic. I am not anti-anything. But the thing is that
I love Israel.
That is true, man.
I've been with Israel so long in terms of I've received some of my greatest honors from Israel. My father before me, incredible. My daughter Ivanka is about to have a beautiful Jewish baby.
This is the world that you know.
I'm gonna skip this because you can have copyrights, but let me just skip forward.
I love Israel. My name is Donald Trump. And I'm a big fan of Israel. I love Israel. I love Israel. I love Israel.
It is my esteemed pleasure to introduce.
Let me just keep the last thing. You know, here in campaign, he was asked a few things, and that.
Thank you. The state and our came state. Today, I speak to you today as a lifelong supporter and true friend of Israel. I'm a newcomer to politics, but not to backing the Jewish state.
God's chosen people.
I came here to speak to you about where I stand on the future of American relations with our strategic ally, our unbreakable friendship, and our cultural brother, the only democracy in the Middle East, the State of Israel. Thank you. And we will send a clear signal that there is no daylight between America and our most reliable ally, the State of Israel. That's right. Get that mic. Get that mic over there.
This might shock you, but we have something in common.
Good.
Respect for human life.
Thank you.
Okay? Number one and number two. Okay? Number one, I'm opposed to the murder of unborn babies being legal. Number two, I'm opposed to our wasting our military in the Middle East on behalf of Zionist Israel. Thank you.
Okay. All right, well, let me just tell you that Israel is a very, very important ally of the United States.
Yay.
And we are going to protect them 100%. 100%. They've been our most reliable. It's our true friend over there, and we are going to protect Israel 100%. And we are going to protect Israel 100%. As to number one, we're with you. Okay, one more. We got to ask one more because that was a tough question on Israel. That was nasty. Whoa, because that was a tough question on Israel. That was nasty. Whoa.
And I can play in like 6 minutes more of the profound love that this guy has on the only democracy in Middle East. But the thing is clear. I mean, they are support 100% the foreign politics of Israel and to grow the state of Israel and trying to recover it. And not just that, but remember that in our days, Donald Trump was selected as the new Messiah of Israel. They are even created.
They have a coin, right, with his image on it.
Yeah, the coin of the. But they don't even hide it. I mean, all the government is not just like a guy who maybe get the coin. No, this is ordered by the government.
And read the bottom
Israel.
there. And he charged me to build a house in Jerusalem. And and this is what we mean when we talk about the left and the right being different wings of the same bird, because it doesn't matter whether you're talking left or right. They both agree heavily on protecting God's chosen people.
Yeah, here you have the.
We are all Jews. Because I was right. Which is why your father was right. We are all Jews. Because
I am the chosen one.
Jesus.
הנשיא טראמפ הוא ידיד גדול מאוד של מדינתנו. מנהיג שעשה דברים שלא נעשו קודם לכן, והיו צריכים לעשות בתוקף הצדק והאמת.
All right, here we go. You got the beast making war with the saints. It's exactly what it says, guys. It's exactly the stuff I've been telling you. It's happening. Revelation 13:7, it was given to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. They just minted this coin and put Donald Trump on there again with Benjamin Netanyahu. They're going to work together. Now, look what it says. War. This is just what it says of Revelation 13 and Daniel 7.
And then it's the same thing. But for me, it's very clear. What benefit, who benefits from this strategy? Well, you have right in your face.
Figure it out yourselves. Yeah.
So it's very. I'm stop sharing right now.
Okay, it's clear. And I did find. I think it was on No More News. This is what I was talking about with Pelosi. Oh, I'm not sharing with you guys. Sorry. I'll do that so you can see. But just so people don't think I was making shit up, which people might think sometimes I do, which I don't.
Putin.
Let's see.
And then we have traitors like, speaking of aid, traitors like Pelosi, who says garbage like this.
I have said to people when they ask me if this Capitol crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid, and I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel.
So it's not,
wow,
let's
that's
not even
strong,
call
man.
it aid. It's just cooperating. Yeah. We give them our money and we defend them from everything, and we're not allowed to criticize them, and that's called cooperation. She says, here she is with Schumer up here and Sabin at the IAC, the Sheldon Adelson conference that controls both Trump and the Democrats and the Republicans, both sides. She says, even if America was in crumbles, like we see fires all over the Capitol, we see the pandemic has destroyed America, and now still the money flies to Congress, flies through Congress to Israel. Remember last year when the government was shut down, the first bill that the Senate...
Anyway, I'll include that link as well, so if anybody wants to finish listening to Adam Green talk about it, nomorenews.org, check out his site. Does tremendous work like so many.